Hey Legacy Builders, it's been a few days since I recorded my last video. I've been a little busy, but I read something, I'm always reading something that resonates that I'd like to share out with everyone. It really struck a chord and kind of holds true for me as I figure out as I navigate a few things that I'd like to do, and perhaps it will resonate for some of you. So I'm still in the Danielle Laporte book, Firestarter Sessions by Danielle Laporte. And I've been sharing a couple of things on the Facebook page about what I've been reading in this book. Anyway, I'm in session one. Yeah, I've not gotten very deep into the book. One reason is, as I'm reading some of the items that resonate for me, I find myself reflecting on them and journaling on some of the things that Miss Laporte says, or that happened on her journey, or other things that she recommends or suggests. So I'm on session one, and in session one, Miss Laporte says that we need to, she says it says to clear your superpowers. And as soon as I saw it, I started to think about all of the things, of course, that I do well, either that I believe I do well or that people have historically told me that I do well. And I started to think, well, how can I make money doing these things, right? And then I flip into the book and I think that to clear your superpowers was probably on page 21, I believe, or 22. Let's see, it was right at 21, right? And then I get deeper into the chapter and I get to 30. Mind you, as soon as I read to clear your powers, I am automatically thinking about things that I do well. Superpowers, right? That I do extremely well. And I'm saying, oh, well, how could I use this to make money, right? So that's what I'm thinking. So then I get to page 30, and Miss Laporte talks about a gentleman called Marcus Buckingham, who she calls a true strengths zealot. She references two books that he has. One is Now Discover Your Strengths, and the other is The Truth About You. She says, he's talking about strengths. She says he puts it this way. This is a direct quote. A strength is what you do that makes you feel strengthened. Right? And I said, So strength is what you do that makes you feel strengthened. It's something that you do that makes you feel strengthened. I never thought about it that way, right? I always thought that a strength was something you just did very well. Didn't consider how it made me feel doing it, just that it was something that I did very well. So she goes on to say, and these are her words, these are not Mr. Buckingham's words. So it's not necessarily what you're good at or what you're capable of. It's what feels amazing when you do it. I never, ever considered a strength in that way. And I don't know if any of you have. So that's going to be one of my questions, but I'll get to that later. So then she says, well, ergo, if that's a strength, right? Then a weakness is the stuff that you do that makes you feel weakened. So if a strength is something that we do that makes us feel strengthened, then a weakness is something that we do that makes us feel weakened. She says it's deceptively simple, yet revolutionary. And then she goes on to say that according to Buckingham, this is Marcus Buckingham, and she couldn't agree with him more. We will never be great at the things we have to try to be good at. But we can be amazing at the things we're easily great at. I vote for outstanding. Can I get a witness? And I began to think that there are things that I am really good at, and when I do them, I feel really, really great. I started to jot some of those things down, and they were not the things that I initially thought were my superpowers. And I think it played out that way for me because while there are things that I do that make me feel really good, I'm not the strongest in those areas. And I think I'm not the strongest in some of those areas because there are other areas that either my profession, my peers, society, whatever the case may be, have told me that those are more worthy. And so I focused on those things. And, you know, I began to hone those skills and abilities and those strengths, or what I once considered strengths before I read this definition. And I began to perfect those things. I'll give you an example. I never liked numbers. Ever, never, ever liked numbers. In undergrad, I tailored my journey through undergrad in a way that I only had to take one math class. And then I got to grad school, a whole bunch of things happened, and I end up working as a budget analyst. From there, I become a director of finance. And from there, I become a CFO, a COO, always responsible for finance. Always, no matter what position I have, a DOO, Director of Operation, Chief Operation Officer, Chief Financial and Administrative Officer. I had some excellent titles. I've always been responsible for finance. I hate finance. It does not make me feel good at all. I do it very well. I budget very well. I can tell you how to work your money. This is not personal finance, folks. This is multi-million dollar. My budgets usually range somewhere between, the lowest budget I've had was $3.5 million. The highest budget I've had was $540 million. And so somewhere in the gamut between, depending on how large the organization is. Anyway, I say that to say, I don't like numbers. I don't like numbers. But I have made a career on numbers. I made an excellent career on numbers. And reading this made me consider how much I do not like numbers. I do not like budgeting. I do not like finance, but I do it very well. And I've done it so well that I've been able to work at it as a W-2 employee. I've been able to contract services out, and make money. I've been able to make the most money that I've made in my professional career when I works in finance, when finance is directly in my purview, right? Whether it is the finance director or manager reporting to me, or whether it is me operating as the CFO, Chief Financial Officer. I don't like it at all. So I then began to think, or look at a strength in the way that Mr. Buckingham and Miss Laporte say here. And I have some other things going on, and I've identified some strengths, some other strengths that anyway, let's leave that alone. But my question to you, legacy builders, is what is it, what is it that you do that you love doing? It makes you feel really, really good doing one or two of those things that you do that just makes you feel great. Just give us one, but jot the rest of them down in your journal or jot them down on a Post-it. And then 2 is, what's your budgeting? What's budgeting, finance, numbers in your life? So we know what mine is. It's that. So that's the thing so for you it is, what is the thing that you do the damn thing? You do the damn thing, but you don't like it. You don't like it at all. What is that? Anyway, I am excited. I'm always excited. I'm excited about first generation legacy builders. I'm excited. There's so many things that I want to say and I want to do. But today I have those 2 questions, and I'm nosy. I want to know. So tell me, this video is getting long, but tell me, share this out. And I'm interested in hearing what you say. And I also say I'm only in session 1, but I recommend that you pick up this book because it is, especially if you are like me and you have a whole bunch of things going on, but you are not 100% dead set on, this is what I need to be doing. This is what I should be doing as an entrepreneur, that this is the one thing, right? Like you're all over the place like me and you're trying to nail it down to one thing or 2 things or 3 things. I think this resource right here can help. It's going on almost 10 minutes. I hope that you guys watch this one to the end. Anyway, I want to know. You know, I'm nosy. I want to know. Let me know, Legacy Builders. Have a good Saturday evening.